Guys, having the latest chip is great and all, but here's the thing. Phones with the latest tech are oftentimes the most expensive. So sometimes it makes a lot more sense to buy a phone with last year's flagship SoC. If it was bleeding edge last year, just because something new came out, it doesn't make it worse all of a sudden, right? Now this is basically the premise OnePlus's R series has been built on. So this phone you're seeing, this is the OnePlus Ace 3, that is what it is called in China. Globally, this is what's gonna launch as the OnePlus 12R. Now my name is Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and today let's take a close look at the OnePlus Ace 3 or OnePlus 12R because the Ace 3 in China. So this is your standard OnePlus box. You see OnePlus and Ace branding all around. What you're not seeing here is Hasselblad branding for obvious reasons. Up top, the SKU is mentioned. Now this is the top SKU, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. Let me go ahead, open the box up. There's more OnePlus and Ace branding to the sides, and this one I did check, it does not have any Easter eggs on the inside. Now this never settled red insert, it's got your SIM ejector tool, a few OnePlus stickers, the regular card and leaflets. OnePlus have also included a solid colored soft case, which is color matched to the SKU you choose. Nice. And now this is the Ace 3. Let me take it out of its protective wrapping. This phone, it looks very nice, very similar to the OnePlus 12. Now apart from this blue, OnePlus also offers this phone in matte black and rose gold. Coming back to the box, next there's a USB Type-A to Type-C cable, and finally a 100-watt SuperVOOC charger. Now guys, this is the same charger we got with the flagship OnePlus 12. The battery capacity, that's slightly increased, it's 5500 mAh. Personally, I'm very happy with this trend. Brands are starting to include higher than 5000 mAh capacity batteries in the phones. Awesome. With the 100-watt SuperVOOC charger, you can charge this phone from 0 to 50 in 10 minutes. Full charge is going to take you 27 minutes. One thing to note here is that the Type-C port, it's USB 2.0 and there is no wireless charging support. This time OnePlus have used metal for the frame, unlike on the 11R which had plastic. That's something I appreciate. Now despite the metal frame and the increase in battery capacity, the Ace 3's overall footprint has not drastically changed. It still weighs about the same, it still feels very familiar in hand. Now guys, look at the edges, see how the display and the back both curve inwards. That makes the phone feel slimmer than it actually is, making it quite comfortable to hold and use. The under-display fingerprint scanner, it's also placed just right, so I'm definitely giving OnePlus marks for ergonomics here. That's it, the back is glossy, so it's slippery, fingerprint prone. Keep in mind this doesn't apply to the black SKU, which comes with a matte finish. Now the alert slider is included, there's an IR blaster up top, there's support for NFC, Wi-Fi 7. There is no IP rating though. At first glance, the camera array looks similar to what we saw on the OnePlus 12 with a flash on the frame and whatnot. Look closer and you'll see it's not quite as sophisticated. There's no Hasselblad logo, the sensors are smaller, the work they've put in around the array, it looks a little muted, and the camera array itself is slimmer. Now the reason for this change is because this is one area where OnePlus have cut corners to hit their target price, which is quite aggressive to be fair. The primary is the same Sony IMX890 sensor that we saw on last year's flagship OnePlus 11. Here it's paired with a f1.88 lens that has optical image stabilization. Under well-lit conditions, the images, they turned out just fine. There's a good amount of detail, the images look textured, the dynamic range, I'd call it above average. There is no Hasselblad tuning though, so colors aren't as good as you'd see on flagship phones from OnePlus, but it's alright. Even under low light, the images, again, above average for the segment. Video, there's no 8K support, but 4K 60 is available and the footage looks just fine, quite stable. Now the secondary is a regular 8 megapixel ultra wide, pretty standard, nothing special. The third sensor is a useless 2 megapixel macro, so nothing to say there. For selfies, OnePlus seems to be using the same 16 megapixel sensor as the last time around. It shoots nice detailed selfies with natural skin tones, but the selfie video is a huge letdown. It's capped to 1080-30. Big negative on a phone with a flagship chip. Yes, last year's flagship chip, still 1080-30, nah. Okay guys, let's now talk about the display that envelopes the selfie camera. OnePlus have used a Gorilla Glass Victus 2 covered 6.78-inch AMOLED panel that they've sourced from BOE. The resolution is 1.5K, the refresh is 120Hz. There's LTPO support to help vary the refresh between 1 and 120Hz. Now with brightness, just like with the flagship OnePlus 12, the claim here is 4500 nits for HDR. In my testing, I got about 900 nits under manual mode and 1800 nits under auto. So you're not going to have any issues using this phone outdoors on a bright sunny day. Now the earpiece up top, it pulls double duty to provide stereo audio output. It's not as loud as last year's OnePlus 11R, but I think it still sounds quite good. Here, check it out for yourself. Like I said at the start, the OnePlus Ace 3 uses last year's flagship tech, which in this case would be Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. The 8 Gen 2 here is paired with 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and up to a terabyte of fast UFS 4.0 storage. Now guys, this is not a new chip, meaning OnePlus have spent a lot of time with this SoC on other devices, and that shows, that experience shows. For example, look at the stability score. This is a result of the Ace 3 being optimized well. And games run fine. The 8 Gen 2 is still a pretty solid chip. It should be able to run pretty much any game you throw at it well. Now note that no matter what you're running, the phone's not getting hot. I experienced no kind of heating issues on the Ace 3. Additionally, OnePlus also provides an option for frame interpolation and super resolution if you want to do that. Now the software, it's going to be a little different when the phone launches globally as the 12R, because then it would come with Oxygen OS. Here on the Ace 3, this is ColorOS 14 built atop Android 14. And of course the 8 Gen 2, it's a very strong chip. So of course the user experience is going to be excellent. No surprises there. From an update perspective, OnePlus did make a commitment saying they were going to provide 4 years of Android version updates, 5 years of security patches for their flagships, which sadly did not include the OnePlus 11R. So is this going to be 3 plus 4? Is this going to be 4 plus 5? That's something we'll only get to know when this phone officially launches globally. And finally, let's talk price. And here's a pleasant surprise. Last year, the OnePlus Ace 2 in China had launched for 27.99 RMB. This year, the Ace 3 has actually launched cheaper at 25.99 RMB. So I guess it's safe to say the OnePlus 12R, it should be priced cheaper than its predecessor, or worst case, launch at the same price as the 11R. And that's what makes this phone a very attractive option in my humble opinion. Yes, there are cons like the lack of a telephoto camera, wireless charging, IP certification and so on. But if you're looking for a phone chock full of performance to daily drive, the OnePlus Ace 3 or the 12R, it might just fit the bill. What do you guys think about this phone? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.